The directions say to find the quotient. What does it mean to find the quotient? What does quotient mean? Divide, right? The answer to a division problem. So when they're telling you it's a quotient, so if you read the directions, you can see that. You can also see from the problem. And it says to state the restrictions. That means what the denominator or what the variables in the denominator cannot be. So we're going to talk about doing that. So let's look at 27. How do we divide fractions, divide rationals? You keep what? Change, flip. So this, you keep 32x cubed y over y to the 8th, right? Times, and then we flip, correct? So 8y to the 7th. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. 8x to the 4th over y to the 7th, correct?
No, it's not. If you're flipping it.
Right? If we flip it? Okay. So guys, you can simplify however you want to. You can simplify however you want to, whether it's in first, top and bottom, top left, bottom right, whatever. As long as something is in the numerator, something is in the denominator. We don't have an issue here. We don't have any problems because there's nothing attached with a plus or minus sign. So I'm going to go ahead and just multiply across. What's 32 times 8? 256. I have 3 x's there and 4 of them there, so it gives me a total of how many? Okay, so x to the what? 7th. I have 1 y. You guys agree? Yes? Okay, and then on the bottom, how many y's do I have? 15. Can I simplify now anything? Can I simplify? I have 1 y on top and 15 on the bottom, so I can cross this one out, and I'm left with how many? 14. So this becomes 256 x to the 7th, y to the 14th. Do I have any restrictions? Do I have a denominator? Yes. My denominator cannot be what value? 0. In this case, you would say y to the 14th cannot be 0. What's the opposite of raising something to the 14th power? Taking the 14th root, right? Right? What number times itself 14 times would give you 0? 0. So you would say in this case, guys, y could not be 0. Be anything else, but it can't be 0. To find your restrictions here, you don't have to worry about greater than or equal to, all that stuff. All you have to do is say, set the denominator not equal to 0 and solve. So let's go to the next one, 29. We're going to keep, change, flip. Do that first. So I'm going to keep x squared. So 29, I have x squared minus x minus 6 over 2x to the 4th minus 6x cubed, right? Times, and when I flip, this becomes 4x cubed over x plus 2. Okay, I told you, anything that's separated by a plus or minus sign, put it in parentheses so you remember, hey, I cannot just randomly cross out. I have to factor out. So on my top left, what can I factor out? What can I do with x squared minus x minus 6? What does this become? X minus 3 and x plus 2. Agreed? Okay, so that's gone. Good. Let's go down here. What can I take out of 2x to the 4th and 3x cubed? 2x squared. Is that a 2 or 3? It's a 3, so I can take out 2x cubed, right? So I'm left with what? X minus 3, okay. X plus 2 is good, 4x cubed is good. Now that I have simplified, hold on. So now that we have factored all 4 parts, 2 numerators, 2 denominators, is there anything in the numerator and denominator that are exactly the same? X minus 3 and x minus 3. Okay, what else? X plus 2 and x plus 2. What else? X cubed and x cubed. Anything else? I have 4 over 2, which becomes just the whole number 2. That whole problem just simplified to the whole number 2. There are times, guys, where everything will cancel out and it's just 1, and that's okay. Don't question yourself. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. All right, let's look at...
Is there a restriction for that or no?
No, good question. Is there a restriction? Think about this. This is the whole number 2, right? So, can your denominator ever be 0? No. All right, you guys want to do 31 or 32?
32.
Okay, I'm going to do 32, and I'll do 34. And then you guys do the other 2. Deal? All right, so 32. Let's look at 32. Make sure I write it correctly, please. X squared minus 5x minus 36 divided by x plus 2. Okay. Then I have divided by x squared minus 18x plus 81. And what is that over? 1. Okay. I have to do what first? Keep change, flip, yeah? Okay, x plus 2. Can't do anything with it. It's just going to hang out there. Can I factor the top left? Are there factors of negative 36? They're going to multiply to give me negative 36 and add to give me a negative 5. Nine and 4. Okay, so x minus 9 and x plus 4. What's negative 9 times 4? Negative 36. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. Okay, so this is gone, no longer there. So I have my 1 over there on the top. And then can I factor bottom right? Are there factors of 81 that'll multiply to give me 81 and add to give me negative 18? 9 and 9. What kind of 9? Negative, negative. Good. So now that you have everything factored, top, bottom, left, and right, anything that is exactly in the same in the numerator, you can cross out with the denominator. So I have 1x minus 9 here. I can cross it off with one of the x minus 9s here. Not both of them, guys. Has to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So what are we left with? In my numerator, I'm left with x plus 4. And in my denominator, I'm left with x plus 2 and x minus 9. Do I have excuse me, do I have any restrictions? Yeah, there's 2. What can x not equal? Cannot be negative 2, and it cannot be what? Positive 9. What will happen if it is either of those numbers? Your denominator would become 0, which then your fraction or your rational becomes undefined. That makes sense? Okay. One more, and then I'll let you guys work. Let's do 34. Oh, I'm going to rewrite this the wrong way. 34. X squared. Can you pull it up on yours real big so I can see? Okay. X squared minus 3x minus 40. X squared plus 8x minus 20. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip, guys. So I'm going to change and then flip. So x squared plus 12x. Okay. And then x squared plus 13x plus 40. All right, I have 4 trinomials. Let's factor everything first. Top left, what can I factor? X squared minus 3x minus 40. What can that factor into? X plus 8 or minus 8?
Plus. And then x minus 5.
Well, I want my 3 to be negative. So which is bigger, the 8 or the 5? The 8. So it's x minus 8 and x plus 3. Bottom left. What?
Plus 5.
Why did I say 3? Because I'm trying to get a 3, right? Thank you. What can I multiply? Negative 20. Multiply, get a negative 20, but add to get a positive 8. Plus 10, good, and minus 2, perfect. All right, bottom right, we'll go over here. What's going to give me, excuse me, a positive 40 and a positive 13? I'm going to multiply to get 40, but add to get 13.
X.
X plus 8, x plus 5, good. And then what can I use to get a positive 20 when I multiply, but a positive 12 when I... X plus 10 and x plus 2. You guys see the importance of signs. Now, anything that is exactly the same in the numerator or the denominator, you can cancel out. So, what can I cancel?
X plus 10.
X plus 10, okay. 1 on the bottom,
X plus
1 on the top. X plus 5 and x plus 5. And what am I left with?
X minus 8.
My numerator is x minus 8 times x plus 2. Good. My denominator is x minus 2 and x plus 8. Do you guys see the importance of signs? Very, very easily. You're not paying attention to your signs. You put it in wrong, and then you're like, oh, look, these two cancel. Make sure every single thing you factor, recheck it to make sure your signs are correct. Now, do I have any restrictions? What are they? X cannot be positive 2, and x cannot be negative 8. Where is Caden getting these numbers from? Where do you get 2 and negative 8 from? You set the denominator factors not equal to 0. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides, so you get x cannot be 2. Here you subtract 8, you get x cannot be negative 8. That's where that comes from. So what I want you guys to do now is the other 2 problems I did not do, and then submit it. Get done with it. You guys are welcome. You're welcome, welcome, welcome to start the review whenever you want to. Oh, you want me to check it? Sure. You're welcome to start the review whenever you want to. That is not due until the morning of the test. We're going to go over it next week. Tomorrow in class, we're going to go over your quizzes and then any questions you have from 7173 homeworks, okay?